Hey everyone, this is Corey, and this is another monthly market update. And I'm going to start this month a little bit more on a somber note. The Sim family lost a member this past Friday. Jerry Taylor passed away after his battle with cancer. And Jerry passed away on April 8th, and his services will be at Crossroads Church starting at 10 o'clock this coming Friday on April 15th, and then his service will be at noon. So we're keeping Jerry and his family and his loved ones in our thoughts and prayers. Many of you that we've been able to touch base with. So many of our clients here that we've been able to do great work with were because of an introduction from Jerry. The irony has not escaped me that Jerry dedicated 15 to 20 years, most of his adult life, to helping individuals and families and small businesses protect themselves between life insurance and disability insurance in case they didn't come home one day, so their families could be taken care of. And ultimately Jerry was a benefactor of his own planning, and his family will be. And it just brings up the point of how important protection planning is and estate planning is as part of your overall comprehensive plan that we try and put together with clients. So Jerry will be very, very deeply missed. And I'm sure I'll see many of you guys this Friday that can make it. Shifting gears a little bit then is to quickly recap the market and what it did in March. We hit close to a 15% pullback on the S&P 500 for the year, and at a point in March the market then did rally off of that bottom, and we actually finished March positive. So January and February were negative months. March ended up being a positive month in the market. I still can't stress enough this discrepancy that is out there between what actual data is showing versus maybe sentiment of what the market is. So since 1950, the consumer sentiment has really only been lower about 1.5% of the time. So we're really, really close to an all-time low of consumer sentiment. People are really, really negative, and that's understandable because of kind of this outlook of where inflation is, and obviously this terrible, tragic war that's happening across the globe. So I don't want to discredit that, but I also do want people to understand that on the flip side of that, the 200 Fortune 200 CEOs that were polled have really never been as optimistic as they are right now, and that's mostly because of where balance sheets are, both with businesses and the consumer. So inflation is painful, and we talk about that with clients all the time. That's why you can't rely on a fixed income portfolio in retirement. Inflation will eat away at you. Your purchasing power will eventually erode. You have to have assets that will be able to eliminate some of the inflation risk and longevity risk. It's not just volatility risk that we want to be concerned with. So I get that inflation is a big scare, but I am confident that we will get this under control with some right policy decisions, and as supply chain issues work themselves out over the next year and a half. Dividends and stock buybacks are at a record high, so they're back above where they were pre-COVID. So that's another reason why the data just doesn't support a lot of the fear that we're hearing from some clients, or certainly what some of the headlines would make you think or believe. I came up with this analogy recently thinking through inflation. We have a lot of clients that are savers, but they are only slightly interested in being investors, right? And I've seen this throughout my career. There's savers and there's investors, right? And a saver is somebody that does a great job saving, but they don't actually build wealth because they're so concerned and worried about volatility. Investors are actually people that can build wealth, right? And so if we use this analogy of baseball, because today is opening day for the Reds, savers I would compare to like minor league baseball players, right? You know, they have talent and they're doing a good job, but investors are really the people that make it to the major leagues, and people that generate wealth and are able to achieve their financial dreams, goals, and ultimately financial freedom. Those are your Hall of Famers, right? And you can't get into a Hall of Fame if you're just a saver. You have to be an investor, and you have to have the temperament and the emotional fortitude to be able to absorb some of the things that the market's going to throw at us, because there's always going to be uncertainties in the world. So I'm happy to talk about that further with you. If you know anybody that could stand to use that message or wants to discuss it more, you know, inflation at 8% right now is just really, really hurting savers, and we need to turn them in, more people into investors so they can compete with inflation. That's it for this month. Please again, remember Jerry in your thoughts and prayers, and we will see you guys next month. Thanks.